This weather is quite sunny. Okay. Before we start our usual intro, let's see who is new here today. First row, second row, third row. What's your name?
Chris still here with my wife Karen. First time here.
Welcome. How did you get to know about this group?
Okay. Sean here, my son. Sean and Kevin. So they attend your class on, I think it's on the Wednesday, right?
Wednesday class.
Yeah, then he told me about this class in Buddhist Union. So we actually knew each other in Buddhist Union in Jensen U back in the 70s. So it's a kind of one circle. So nice to be back in this place. Yes. Good.
And your wife, what's her name?
Kathleen.
Kathleen.
Yeah. Yes. No. Share the same thing.
Welcome. Who else is here for the first time? Let's see. Left side, I think. All the season holders. Okay, right side, anybody? Right side, I think. We are all on. Yes, hello. And she raised her hand.
Hi, my name is Sylvia. I'm here with my mom, Susan. So I guess I think maybe a couple of weeks back you went to my place under Stanley Boy and Andrew Koo. So yeah, brought my mom to join in for this Dharma sharing. Yeah.
Good. Welcome. Good to see you all here. So welcome to SGC, where we have short puja, short meditation. Yes. Good that you do this. Okay. Thank you. Welcome to all of you. For a while, I thought I had to display some fantastic form. So we have our SGC short puja, short meditation, and also short Dharma sharing. Yesterday we had a special program. We call it the Sundown Meditation over at Botanic Gardens. Let me see. Many of you went for the sundown. The rest of you content. But it's not a compulsory event. It was a lovely afternoon. The weather was good. There were quite a lot of people who were concerned about the premise because there was this concert going on. But it's on the other side, so it's kind of okay. So what we do for the Dharma sharing is once a month, on the first week, we will have the Bodhisattva precepts, and then for the subsequent weeks, we have different topics. So last week, we shared from the Sigalaka Sutta, and we shared about friendship. So there were two parts, one on false friends, which we shared quite a bit about what constitutes a false friend. And then this week we're going to do the second part, which is on the true friend. Can you all remember what a false friend is? Can you all remember? There are four types of individuals. Through these four types, they gave us an impression like they are friends, under the disguise of friends. But in fact, they are not friends. The Buddha called them enemies. Let's see. There's the talker, the taker, the flatterer, and the last one, the reckless friend. Yeah. So these 4 types. Yeah. So those who missed the previous session, you can go to the YouTube, search for spiritual group cultivation, and then you can catch it online. So can you all help to set this up? The AV team. So last week we covered false friend, this week true friend. And similarly, there are 4 types, four types of individuals whom the Buddha referred to as true friend. Yeah. And说不可以，为什么不可以？ Oh, not bad. It's wearing the gi from Singapore Taekwondo Federation. So, so this is from the Sigalaka Sutta. The person, the sutta's name is named after the person who the Buddha spoke to. The name is Sigalaka. In some texts, the name is Sigalaka. Yeah. So the title itself, Sigalo Vada. Yeah, words towards Sigala. Yeah, so in Pali, when a person's name, when a term is used as a person's name, the end from A it turns to O. Yeah, so Sigala becomes Sigalo. Sigalo Wada. Yeah, so Wada typically refers to like words. Yeah, words towards Sigala. Whatever was said to Sigala. So, those who are familiar with this sutta would know that the common theme, the main theme of this sutta is actually the 6 directions, the relations that the Buddha highlighted between oneself and 6 different groups of individuals. Yeah. Towards one's parents, children, then husband and wife, with one's peers, and then towards those who are your subordinate, and towards teachers and religious individuals. Yeah. So among that central theme is actually the part which the Buddha highlighted, sharings on friendship. So last week when we shared on the false friend, did you all go back and think about it? Yeah. Did you all identify any false friends in your life? And did you all realize that sometimes we unwittingly may act as false friends? Yeah. So sometimes, so if you look at the false friends, I used to think of it as, okay, these are false friends. So if you identify them, you should keep them away. But over the years, I realized that sometimes we unwittingly act in ways that qualify us as false friends. But if we ask ourselves, we didn't plan to be false friends. We didn't plan to harm people actually. Yeah? It's just that sometimes we are a bit confused, or sometimes we are overwhelmed by our emotions, yeah? And our judgment fails us. And as a result, we may act in ways that are less than beneficial towards our friends. Yeah? So if you were to do this introspection, then one could perhaps say that even those who are our false friends, sometimes, not always, sometimes they may have done what they did unknowingly, yeah, or unwittingly, or perhaps with the best intention, do things that actually harm us. Yeah. As they always say, the road to hell is laid with the best intention. Yeah. Or in Chinese, 好心做坏事. So today we're going to look at true friend. So this is the Buddha's advice. So to Sigalaka, he said, young men, be aware of these 4 good-hearted friends. So not just friends, but good-hearted friends. Think about it. What is the definition of friends and enemy? Yeah. We have different ideas about what a friend is. Yeah. Sometimes when a friend do something, say something towards us, put us in a certain position, then we may say, hey, you're not friend enough. When a person do according to our wishes, will we say, hey, you're not friend enough? Then a friend asks, why? Because you do as I ask you to do. Will we say that? No. But if a friend do things not according to our wishes, very likely we will say, hey, 你不够朋友, you're not a good enough friend, you know. Well, I want you to do this, you never do this. I expect you to do this, you never do this, and so on. Yeah. That's how some people, or maybe many people, may think. Yeah. Here, the Buddha said, 4 good-hearted friends. In my understanding, not so much how we perceive them, but they are good-hearted. And the tricky thing sometimes is, when they are good-hearted, sometimes they may do things that we feel unhappy about. Not because they are wrong, you know. Not because they are bad-hearted. Sometimes it's because of our own personal, subjective view. Yeah? And then we may feel that, yeah, but I'm not happy. Yeah. So here, let's see. What does it mean by good-hearted? So there are 4 types. The helper, the friend, who endures in good times and bad, the mentor, and a compassionate friend. So these 4. And again, like last week, some of the terms are quite self-explanatory, but perhaps others may require a bit more explanation. So the first one, the helper, quite straightforward. Let's see. The helper can be identified by 4 things. So the Buddha even gave definition of what it means by a helper. Yeah. So by protecting you when you are vulnerable, and likewise your health. Being a refuge when you are afraid, and in various tasks, providing double what is requested. Yeah. So in this way, a person is known as a helper friend. So first, by protecting you when you are vulnerable. So when are we vulnerable? In the other parts of the sutta and also in other sutras, the Buddha mentioned, like sometimes, especially in the Buddha's time, many of those whom he talked to, some of them may be traders. Yeah? So when they are traders, they will be away from, let's say they may be somewhere where they themselves are vulnerable, or maybe their family and friends are vulnerable. So they are away, they cannot protect. Yeah? So a friend would actually take care of you, in other words. Yeah. When you're not able to take care of yourself, they'll take care of you. Yeah. Including what? Including your wealth. Including your wealth. So in today's context, very straightforward. When we finish SGC and you all leave, sometimes you leave behind your handphone, your wallet, your water bottle. Yeah, after retreat, people leave behind the yoga mat, and so on and so forth. So what do the volunteers do? They all keep and then lelong. No, they don't lelong it. Yeah. They don't put it up on eBay. They immediately ask around. First of all, who is still around, they ask, who does this belong to? Yeah, or who belongs to this? And then if nobody claim it, they will take a picture and then post it onto the chat group. Yeah. So it seems like the folks here qualify as the helper. Yeah. Likewise, your wealth. Have you ever met friends who don't take care of your wealth when they are vulnerable? Have you ever encountered? I hope not. Yeah. But I have met students who share of their plight, where they have been, in some cases even worse, not just not protecting your wealth, but actually scheming to abscond with your wealth. Yeah. So of course, if someone schemes to abscond with your wealth, then such a person is clearly not a helper friend. Yeah. But if a person, knowing that you are exposed to danger, yeah. Say for example, you know a friend who is perhaps in bad company. Yeah. You know for a fact. Okay. If you know for a fact that your friend is in bad company, and those bad company are sort of like laying a trap, yeah, to perhaps lure him or her into some deal, and through that process, cheat your friend. So if you know that, as a helper friend, you should try to warn him, to protect him. Yeah. But unfortunately, sometimes in such cases, sometimes when you try to intercede, your friend may even look at you and feel that, why, you jealous? I got such good friends, you are not happy. Right? Sometimes it happens. So sometimes, even if you are a helper friend, and you should try to protect them, but you may also want to consider who is the best person to deliver the message. Especially if the person has a tendency to think in a certain way, you have to be skillful. So not easy to do the right thing to be a good person as well. Number two, being a refuge when you are afraid. So there are two cases here. One is you have valid reasons to be afraid. Number two is the reasons that you are afraid may not be so good. So let me get the first part out of the way. Say, being a refuge when you're afraid. What are the reasons why you can be afraid? In the Buddha's time, there are more reasons to be afraid, because there are all the wild animals, whatever, and then there's war. In Singapore, there's no war. What are the reasons why you are afraid? Kiakui. So if, let's say, if you are afraid of ghosts, and then you go and look for Chris, and Chris will say, kiakui, right? Come. What I do must be kiakui. Kiakui. How many of you are afraid of ghosts? Only a few. The rest are more cannot see more than kiakui. And the rest of you are not kiakui one. Who is not afraid of ghosts? And then the rest don't understand. Yeah, never see before, right? Haven't met before. Haven't met before.
Hearing about it can sound goosebumps.
Hearing about it. You mean hear the ghost or hear about
people
ghosts?
talk about it.
Or hear people talk about it. There was once, I think, in the 80s, there's the Kai Xing Gui. Yeah. What is that actor's name? Huh? Raymond Wong. Is he still around? But I don't think he acts anymore. He's doing directing now, right? I think there was an interview many years back, maybe in the early 90s, and they asked him like, wow, you make so much movies about ghosts, are you afraid of the ghosts? And you know what he said? I remember his reply was very interesting. He said, I'm not afraid of ghosts. They help me make a lot of money. It's the part two that is even more interesting. He said, I'm more afraid of human beings. They do real harm. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think there are many things we can be afraid of. Someone mentioned about dying. Yeah. We may be fearful when we face death. We may be fearful even before we die. Yeah. Sometimes I may be called upon to go to do a home visit or hospital visit, and sometimes it's because the patient has been diagnosed with cancer. Yeah. In some cases, it's the early stage, yeah. And they need some counsel, they need some assurance. This would be one of them, being a refuge. I mean, these are the terms here I want to highlight. I don't know, how many times on a daily basis do you use the word refuge? Besides taking refuge in Buddha, and in the Triple Gem. On a day-to-day basis, we seldom use the word refuge, isn't it? Yeah. So when you read this, we may sometimes have a bit of a disconnect, like, what does it mean? And how can I be a refuge? Yeah. It basically means that when someone, say for example, is in danger, faces mortality, yeah. And sometimes, and this is something that is not fairy tale. Yeah. I have had many students, quite a number of students who have been diagnosed with cancer and they come and see me, or sometimes not cancer. Sometimes they went for a medical checkup and they have a month before they get the review. Yeah. Sometimes the wait itself is scarier than the result, Once you know the result, okay, what can we do now? Before you know the result, you cannot do anything about it. Yeah. And sometimes it's not necessarily life-threatening. So, I personally don't dare to say that I'm very good at doing this. Sometimes when I meet them, I would just sit down and drink tea and chit-chat. Yeah. The surprising thing is that some of them actually felt better. Felt better in the sense that because most people, when they meet people and they know about what is coming, most people will be like, giving too much consolation. Yeah. That it makes them feel miserable. Yeah. So sometimes you never know. Just being there for them and just spending some time with them, talking to them and hearing them out. Yeah, hearing them out. So being a refuge when they are afraid. In some cases, the cases that I've handled are not so much about health, not about mortality, yeah, but about situations that they are facing. Retrenchment can be frightening. Yeah. And sometimes it's not themselves. Sometimes it's their family members or facing this situation. Retirement can be scary as well. Yeah. There's 101 things in life that can be scary. As much as in Singapore, we have so few problems really. Yeah. Just the other day I was talking to someone about the fall climate, the fall season rather. Yeah. In Singapore, we don't have the four seasons. Many people want to have the fall season. Yeah. Because in Singapore, every single day is more or less the same. Hot, wet, hot, if not wet, if not hot and wet, if not hot but not cold. Yeah. But it's actually a luxury. There are many friends and peers from other countries. When I first heard it, I was quite surprised. They say Singapore has amazing temperature, weather. I was like, what? And then it's when they tell me, then I realize, oh yeah, right. And this is what they said. They said, in Singapore, we don't really have extremities of temperature. Yeah? Your higher and lower temperature range is very small. Yeah? What is the highest temperature? Yeah. Only in recent years, 34, 35, or 36. And when it's 36, what is the lowest temperature for the day? Yeah. So you almost, I haven't experienced in my memory a temperature range where, oh, in the morning is 24, then at night is, then in the afternoon is 36, then at night is 22. If it's 36 in a day, you can expect the best 29 or 30 sometimes. And worse still, sometimes it's only 32. It just dropped by 4 degrees. You know? So as much as it feels like, wow, so hot, but the range is very small. So we don't have so much problems. In other countries, if the winter comes just a few days earlier, people die, you know. Yeah. There was one year I went to Beijing, and it was early October. And then I think it's first or second day I went, it snowed. Early October, you know. It didn't snow like crazy. It was just mild snow. Yeah. But the fact that it started snowing a bit, it means that the remaining temperature is going to just plunge. Yeah. And indeed, in that year, quite a lot of people actually had problems. Yeah. According to some of the reports, across China, especially in some of the more suburbs area, many people actually, some of them actually died. Yeah. So in Singapore, we have lesser of this kind of climatic issues. We don't have earthquake. I mean, the occasional earthquake nearby, and then you hear a bit, you feel a bit, oh, wow, big deal. That's not an earthquake. That's just an aftermath. That's too far from the epicenter. Yeah. But we have our set of problems that people have fear over. In recent years, people have fear over the loss of their job. Yeah. So if a friend comes to you and say, hey, or you know that a friend has lost his job or her job, yeah, how can you be a shelter? How can you be a listening ear? But sometimes, yes, yeah, you need a listening ear. Are you being retrenched? Yeah. When there are kids, we live like heavenly things, you know, no worries. Yeah. So, one thing about being a refuge or having people to be a helper, friend, and so on, is that we need to make ourselves, what do you call that, amiable to help. Yeah, we need to make it easy for people to help us also. And this is something that, short of a complaint, sometimes I really, you know, I don't know whether it's an ancient culture or is it a Buddhist culture. Yeah, I often encounter this. If you look at all the situations listed, and you try to help or try to show concern, a very likely reaction is, 不用麻烦, 不用麻烦. Yeah. Outright, like the immediate response is usually rejection. But even before that, I think our Asian culture, sometimes we have a lot of assumptions, assuming that people will know, people must know, people should know. Yeah. And if people don't know, and as a result didn't help us, then we have all kinds of, discursive thinking. Yeah. A lot of thinking like, oh, people don't care. Yeah. We need to reach out to people to ask for help sometimes. I recently told some students, I have counseled many students, but I only counsel those who come and see me, who make an appointment to come and see me. Yeah. Among you all, some of you have done that before. I will always try to arrange a time if you make an appointment. Yeah. But some people expect that Shifu should take the initiative. Yeah. And Shifu should do this, Shifu should do that. I'm sorry, I don't do that. Yeah. And so, being a refuge when we are afraid, yeah. And if we are afraid and we don't tell anybody, how does anybody know you are afraid? So there's two parts to it. If you want people to be a helper friend, you must make it easy for people to help you, for people to know that you need help. And in various tasks, providing double what is requested. So this last one indicates that there is a request being made. You must request. If you don't request, unfortunately, I'm sorry. Yeah. How many of you have Ta Sing Tong? How many of you have clairvoyance, ability to read people's mind? Anyone? Okay, I thought so. None of us. In the Buddha's time, it's different. It is said that the Buddha, every day, before he go for alms round, when he rise, and then he will go into meditation and he will observe the world. And he will see, who is capable to receive the teachings and have breakthrough? Or who is on the verge of doing something really drastically wrong? Who, at this point in time, can be given a bit of nudge and progress? He will observe. And according to whoever is ready, he will go and provide counsel or give teachings and so on. In some cases, he will instruct his students to go and assist that person. But can we expect everybody around us to be like the Buddha, having this ability? So that's why, if you have the Buddha as your friend, good. But unfortunately, most of our friends are not Buddhas. Not even Bodhisattva. No, unenlightened Bodhisattva. Unenlightened. So the next one, enduring friend. Enduring friend. The enduring friend can be identified by 4 things. So the first one was a helper. This one is an enduring friend. And the above opening verse states, one who endures in good times and bad. So by that, we can sort of understand. Yeah? But here, there are more details. The enduring friend can be identified by 4 things. Number 1, by telling you secrets. Number 2, guarding your own secrets closely. Number 3, not abandoning you in misfortune. And number 4, even dying for you. So a show of hands, how many of you would be willing to die for Shifu? The true friends. And that is willing to die for me. Don't anyhow die for me, okay? Let's take a look. The first 2 is about secrets. Number 1 is about telling you your secrets. Not your secret, telling you some secrets. I presume it's their secrets. it's ambiguous here whose secrets is it? But I hope that friend is telling you about his secret, not other people's secret. Someone who go around telling people about other people's secret. That means he's not a person who can keep secrets. In which case, number 2 will not be true. Yeah, so if there's number 2, guarding your own secrets closely, then you should expect that he will guard other people's secrets also. So number 1 is about their own secrets. Yeah, but you know, long time ago when I read this, I was having this funny thought. Why would anyone tell me their secrets? Tell me for what? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, in my whole life, there isn't much things that is a secret, you know what I mean? So a long time ago when I read this, I was like telling you secrets, what can be a secret? I mean, we learn about the word secret, you know, but then in my own life itself, there's nothing much that is a secret. Anyone can almost just, except maybe some special interrupt call address, you know, 17H or something, but there's no secret also. So, but later on I realized that this thing about secrets, secret is a big word. It includes things that you want to keep private. Things that you want to keep private. Like, for example, your password. Well, I'm not sure if you want to tell your friend your password. So think about it. How many of you would feel okay to tell me about your password? Well, it took a bit of hesitation, and then subsequently, they all raised their hands. The question is, password to what? Password to your email, password to your handphone, password to your bank account, your iBanking. No, please don't tell me. So, by telling you their secrets, it's about trust. Yeah. So it's not about how secretive that thing is. It's about how much that person can trust you. Yeah. A true friend, an enduring friend, trusts you. Yeah. And in turn, you can trust him as well. Yeah. Number 2, guarding your own secrets closely. In other words, between the two of you, it's not so much about, wow, you all keep some little secret and then, wow, some special tight, small circle, you know. But it's about mutual trust. This thing about telling you their secrets and you telling them your secrets and they keeping your secrets guarded. Yeah, it's about trust. And you can trust him and he can trust you. And even then, in the past, when I think about trust, I will scratch my head. Because I tend to feel quite okay with most people. But over the years, then I realized, oh, how precious it is. How precious it is to have someone that you can completely trust everything about yourself. Yeah. To be able to share freely. Yeah. And the best thing is that that person know you inside out. So trust has the other element about being at ease with that person. Yeah. That if it's a good secret, if let's say it's a secret, hey, Venerable, I donated $10 million. Keep it a secret, okay? Yeah. No big deal, you know. But let's say, not me, someone else donated, and then someone else told, Venerable, that day I saw something in my bank account. There was a few extra zeros behind, not in front. I'm ashamed to tell you that I'm not going to report it. Because I want to donate to Venerable Guan. So think about it, these two secrets again. The first secret, even if people know, there's no impact. But the second part, the first part of the second part, wow, it can put him or her in a bad state. Yeah. So to be able to trust someone with your secret that is damaging to you, well, it takes even more trust. Yeah. And I realized over the years, many times through the interaction with people, that yeah, it is a very beautiful thing to have someone or some friends. Yeah. Sometimes it may not be family, you know, because sometimes families, some students, I don't know, okay, some students tell me that they don't mind, they feel comfortable talking to me, because when they talk to their family members, the number one response is, they feel like they are being judged. And I was thinking, I thought I was quite judgmental all the time. So apparently their family members are even more judgmental. Yeah, so these two is about, in a way, something that's very popular now, yeah, where you can share freely and you know that your friends will not judge you for your mistakes. Yeah, will not look at you with colored eyes and say, you had that one, you. Can you imagine you share with your friend some secret that you have been keeping and you feel like you just need to tell somebody. And you tell your best friend or a friend that you feel like you can trust. And then a friend, after hearing it, oh, I forgot to tell you, I need to go off now. And then you never hear from that friend again. I think it would be quite hurtful. Huh? So, number 3, not abandoning you in misfortune. Yeah. So this is what we commonly know as the 酒肉朋友. When you have good times, then they are here. When you are in trouble, then you will text them, you see only one thing. When you text them, show them to go for holiday, all expense paid, you send in 1 tick, 2 tick, and then immediately reply. So a good friend, a true friend, who is an enduring friend, will not abandon you in misfortune. When you're in trouble, when you're down and out, especially when you're down and out, they'll still be there. Yeah, they'll still be there. They'll be there to tell you your mistake. They will not abandon you. Yeah, they will not see you die. They will help you to try what they can. But sometimes, here I want to highlight something. Not abandoning us in our misfortune doesn't always mean that they just have to keep helping you, that you can expect your friend to just keep bailing you out. If you, let's say, out of holiness, do something that gets yourself into some bad situation, a friend don't abandon you, a friend help you, then, or your siblings. But we must learn from the mistake. If we then go ahead, like 1 week later, go ahead and headstrong into the same situation, and then when your friend or whoever don't help you, they say, wow, you're not an enduring friend. No. Do you know what the Buddha said? You must not abandon me in misfortune. Now the creditors are here. You must help me. You must help me. Or mommy, Amia, do you not read Sigalaka? So now let's switch roles. Instead of looking at others as friends, now ask yourself, are you a good friend? Are you an enduring friend? We must know, being an enduring friend doesn't mean you help blindly. Yeah? Not abandoning doesn't mean that, oh, the person go casino, gamble, and like lose $5,000, or how should I respond? Not abandoning you in misfortune. okay, $5,000. Then 1 week later, Chris, I know I haven't paid you the 5,000, but I went to casino again. Oh, Piang, why you go casino again? Yeah, I know, but this time I really need your help. How much is it this time? $10,000. But maybe for Chris, 10,000. Oh, Chris will tell them, 现在 casino 不要出来。Then after that, after Chris rejected, then the person go, Louis, I need your help. Chris already rejected me. Louis, remember or not? Sifu said, we must not abandon a friend in misfortune. Then Louis said, 我有钱都不要还借你。What will Louis say?
命拿去吧。
他说钱没有命拿去了。哇，这个，just cut to the chase, give you the bottom line. I have counseled people in different situations, and unfortunately, this is one of the situations where it's the reverse of this abandonment. I have met this mother who was my student, and during one of the retreat, was supposed to be those interview for meditation, Then halfway through, she started sharing about her difficulties, and it has to do with her family, in particular the son. And she's not the only one. What did the son do? The son basically just spent like there's no tomorrow. 4K here, 10K there, 5K here, 8K there. I mean, goodness. A lot of people don't earn 4K a month, but the person just like that. And then tell her some amazing story about starting a business with a friend, and then needing capital, and then every month not making money, still asking for more funding. And then tell her that, borrow money from here and there, and then they're going to teach him a lesson if she don't help and so on. Halfway through, she broke down. So I was sitting on the floor and broke down. And then me being the kind, compassionate Sifu, I just sat there and wait. I just sat there and wait for her to finish crying. If any of you have ever come to see me before, you'll know that there's one superpower I have. I can look at people cry and not be disturbed. So she cry, I pass her tissue. Then I just sit down there waiting. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I just sat there and wait. Then I took a piece of paper and then I said, okay, finish. And then I told her, okay, so dry your tears. And then I asked her, I said, how much are you worth? And then she said, huh? I said, because before she started crying, she was like, Sifu, I feel like just dying, If I die, then everything will be given to him. My house, the HDB, not house, HDB, and my savings, insurance, everything I gave it to him. Then it solved all his problems. So I asked him, I said, how much are you worth? And then she is a bit, I said, 2 million? Oh, 师傅一开口 2 million. 开玩笑的，底牌 2 million. Then she, at first she was crying, right? Then she laughed. No, 师傅 2 million. HDB 哪里来的路 Bishan, very super high, 800 over K, 900K. Yeah. So she said, no lah. I said, never mind. Let's assume your worth in total, everything in, show hand, 2 million. So then I wrote down 2 million, then I calculated. at the rate that her son was burning through the cash, I said, on average, 10 years. So if you don't help him now, you are afraid that he will have to commit suicide. So if you die now and you give everything, 10 years later, he will still commit suicide. And worse still, at that point in time, you are not there. Then she's out. And just when she thought that that was the bad news, I told her something worse. I said, you know what? If you give him the 2 million, if you have the 2 million and give it to him, he will not use it in 10 years. He will use it in 2 years. Maybe even just 1 year. Use up everything and end up with a bigger debt. Why? Because it's a windfall. Yeah, it's a windfall. People have done studies, yeah, scientific studies. They did surveys. They did longitudinal, very cheap word, study over 10 years. All the different individuals who won lottery, almost all of them, on the average of 2 years, they have lost everything and end up with a worse condition. Before that, they have a job, nothing to shout about, yeah. But after that, they lose everything and still have debt. And mind you, it's an average. It means that some of them finish up everything in 6 months, half a year, 1 year. Yeah. You go to YouTube, you search lottery bankruptcy. Number one cause, like not number one cause, but it's a major driver. Why? Because these individuals, their wealth, they didn't know how to come up with so much wealth. So they have no idea how to maintain that wealth or make good use of that wealth. So in some classes I mentioned about giving inheritance. Here it's about if you are on the other end and someone is in a bad situation, you must go and do investigation why they are in that bad situation before you start dumping money, you know. I have individuals who come to see me before, ask me for money, ask me for financial assistance, you know, I'm like, oh, really? Me? Like, thanks for the vote of confidence, but I'm like, does this look like Chuan Foundation? Which part of the rope makes you feel like I have money to? Let me tell you, the saddest case I've ever encountered was a secondary school teacher who called me up and told me some sob story that he need to borrow $500 from me. I mean, 500. I open up enough ang pao, I can find $500. You know, yeah. But please don't, as a result, give me ang pao just to top up. I didn't lend him the money. Why? After hearing the story, a lot of alarm bells come up. Yeah, because you see, I'm even skeptical about the Buddha's teaching. What kind of story can convince me, you know? So I said, well, sure, I can try to help you, but I need to see you. Wow, he was hesitant. Then finally, he know that if he come down, he may not get it. But if he don't come down, he will definitely not get it. So he came down. Then I took out my little notebook, and I sat down and I wrote his name, then I started the standard process. Asked him questions, he replied, and then I wrote. And after a while, I was like, wait, so you're telling me that you have to pay this $500 to who again? Oh, some policeman from the court. And this policeman says that he will help you settle the court case without you having to go to appear in court because you are a teacher, so cannot appear in court. So I was like, more alarm bells come out. At some point, I told him this. I said, okay, tell you what, why don't you ask this person to give me the court case number? I know of enough people, either in the ministries or in the civil service to be able to just do a check, you know. And I told him, I said, very, very bluntly, I said, when you ask that person, a few things can happen. If the person cannot produce a court case number, there's a high chance the person is lying to you. if you cannot produce one to me, there's a chance that you are lying to me.
Venerable.
Yeah, exactly. Then I told him, I said, but I don't want to assume that you are lying to me. So you have to go and get the court case number from him. If you refuse, then there's a high chance you are trying to con me. Otherwise, it means he is trying to con you. So which is it? 开玩笑，要来。But the best thing is, after the whole back and forth, then I called some friends from secondary school whom I'm still in close contact. And when I mentioned, the first thing that came from that friend is, 连你都打。Which means that he has been going through the list, calling all of us to ask for money. Yeah. So then after that, we had a chat among friends. We're like, what do you think is a possible reason? So we came out with a few scenarios. 1, gambling. 2, affairs. Then you need money. Yeah. Then 3, fraud or something. None of it is good. Yeah. So out of compassion, I was still trying to think, okay, how can we get him to come to terms with it and really just come clean and tell us what exactly is the problem, what exactly the problem is. Yeah. And that's where, well, here it says, do not to abandon you in misfortune. If you are trying to be the enduring friend, please, 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 use your wisdom. Don't run your life, especially don't help your friend based on emotions. Because if you help your friend in this way, you're not helping your friend. You're helping your friend to go deeper and deeper into the sinkhole. So sometimes the compassionate thing to do is not to act compassionately. What some people would feel like you're not compassionate, but that may well be the most compassionate thing to do. Always, when you go into a troubled situation, verify, ascertain the situation first. Don't just hear the person's emotions. We should, comfort the person, address the emotion. But to solve the problem, you cannot go by the emotion. So be careful of this. The last one, even dying for you. Wow, this is quite heavy. How many of you are ready to, not me, but die for a friend? I mean personally, if I think of my friends in the past, is there any one friend that I'm willing to die for? Maybe at most 1 or 2, honestly. And better be a good reason. Donate organs. So your friend is going to die, you donate and you die, and then the person lives. I mean, it got to be a bigger thing than that for me to sacrifice myself, right? Gangster 标准. I'm not sure whether this was about gangster 标准. but. This is后背. Gangster 标准. For the records, this is not me who is talking about the gangster 标准. Don't point the camera over. Let me suggest a situation where you may have to risk. And donating your organ is about risking your life. You may not die, but you may die. Like let's say your friend or your family members need a transplant, kidney transplant. You have 2, yeah? Would you donate 1? So it's not. Maybe in some cases it's gangster 标准, but a more common situation is if let's say someone require like bodily assistance, or let's say while crossing the road, and your friend, like just texting and then cross the road and you see a car coming, would you like, yeah? Or would you quickly take out a camera and then take a picture like, like every time tell me not to use this one, you see lah. This is message for all of you: do not text and walk across the street.
That's not enough.
That's not enough. Selfie some more. Next time crossing a road, please don't cross with me.
You know, yesterday my aunt gave me this. There's one girl when she driving the car, then the car smashed, and she was texting inside the car. Yeah.
Wait. Your auntie?
My auntie sent me the picture.
Oh, send you the video.
Of a
Picture
girl.
or video?
A video.
Video.
Yeah, so she was not looking what she was doing, so I don't know. Say, then when the car smashed, the phone went right off the window.
Yeah. I think the phone flying off the window is the least of concern. Yeah. So these are situations where you may be in that split second have to answer the question, are you ready to risk your life for your friend? And here I want to just mention, many years ago, you may have heard of or seen on TV the case of the SQ air stewardess, yeah, who really went out of her way to make sure that all the passengers are evacuated, yeah, and as a result, she herself suffered from high-degree burns and perished. Yeah. In many ways, she exhibited the qualities of a Bodhisattva, one who is ready to die for you. Some attribute it to her, the training, but you can go through all the training, you know. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Yeah. So this is something that is very admirable. Number 3, the mentor. The mentor can be identified by 4 things. Mentor, someone who counsel you, who give you advice. Yeah? By restraining you from wrongdoing, number 1. Number 2, guiding you towards good actions. Number 3, telling you what you ought to know. Number 4, showing you the path to heaven. This way, please. すみません。皆さん、こちらにどうぞ。Heavenに行けます。So, let's go to the heaven part later, the last. So the first one and the second one is in a way a pair, yeah, restraining you from wrong and guiding you towards good. Yeah. So these two is actually the first two of what the Buddha say is the universal teaching, yeah, of all Buddhas. 诸恶莫作，众善奉行，自尽其意，是诸佛教。Yeah. The first two, 诸恶莫作，众善奉行, to avoid all evil, to do all good. Yeah. So this first two is actually parallel to that. A good friend would guide you in this way. Yeah. Number 2 is perhaps easier because when people advise us, guide us towards good actions, okay, come, let's go and do charity. Yeah, okay, let's go and help the person. Okay, but the first one is harder. Restraining you from wrongdoing. This is very tough. Even for me, Shifu, as a Shifu, not so easy. Tell people, don't do this. Yeah, so long time ago, my teacher, he said, he told us that when he was newly ordained, or in the early days when he has disciples, he would be very strict. He would scold his disciples, he would tell them off, he will basically instruct them. Yeah. But in later years, he started to refrain from doing that. And then he said, because when he scold them, then they, he scold them, they leave. Score 1, leave 1. Score 2, leave 2. So after 1, nobody left 1. But in a way, I can understand from both the teacher's point of view and the student's point of view. Yeah. Not easy for a person to train ourselves to be amiable for criticism. Yeah. Not so easy. When you do something and they praise you, hey, nicer, isn't it? Yeah, nicer to hear. But when we make a mistake and people highlight, not so easy to accept it. So just like the above, if you want a friend who is a mentor, you have to make yourself amiable to people's criticism, amiable to people's guidance. If you, in your mind, you think, in the first case, if you think you're perfect, then whenever people point out your mistake or that you are doing something wrong, and your response is, wow, very strong. Then after all, people, okay, maybe I should not do it. Then the second one is, if you think that you are really very smart, you know everything, and then when people tell you, hey, let's go and do, I don't know how to do what, then same thing now. Tell me what you ought to know. Again, this is about having humility to learn from others. Yeah. It's not easy to have someone who will come and tell you, hey, this is how you do something. Yeah. Earlier on, I just came over from Qingyan Hong Fa Tuan over at Clementi. That's why I was quite a rush. Towards the end, I shared this with the students. I told them, do you know the number one reason, I think, why you all have to spend so much time after school to do your homework, and you still have to go for tuition and so on and so forth? You know why? Because you all don't listen in class. Or you all don't listen enough. And then one of them, but Shifu, listen also no use. My teacher can't understand the explanation. So after some back and forth, we came to one conclusion. She admitted, she said, but my brain is slow. I'm slow. So I said, well, okay, but precisely, isn't it? If you are slow, then you should put in even more effort to pay attention. Because at least you pay attention, you know what was taught. And you said, but I can't understand. I said, yeah, that's the point. 闻思修 First you hear, then you have retention of what is being taught. So I told her, I said, like for example, if a teacher teaches you quadratic equation, then you say, I don't understand. Of course, she was in Sec 1, she's in Sec 1, she haven't learned quadratic equation. Yeah. How many of you do not know what quadratic equation is? Okay. Now, can you repeat what I just said? The equation name, the equation's name? Okay, never mind. Not to embarrass her. Who has not heard of it before? Raise your hand. Okay. Is there any one of you who feel confident to repeat that equation's name? Huh? You see, this is the problem. If you cannot even remember what is being said, then you cannot go and check and learn. You know? The thing is, the teacher would first of all tell you that today, class, last year in Sec 1, we have learned about line numbers, we learned about linear equations, we learned about real numbers, we learned about integers and so on. This year, we're going to learn a higher order equation called quadratic equation. Yeah? Repeat after me. Quadratic equation. Now, at this point, those of you who have learned quadratic equations will be like, oh, your fond memories, right? Yeah, the y equals to ax squared plus bx plus bx plus c, you know that order. But for those of you who have never learned it, it's not a fault that you don't know, yeah. But at least I told them, if you at least remember that term, and she was able to repeat it. I said, what was the name? Quadratic equation. And I said, yeah, exactly. If you don't pay attention, you don't even know that it was quadratic equation. Then how are you going to go and revise? How are you going to learn anything? Nowadays, in school, there's a tendency to emphasize too much about, too much on, what do you call that, analysis, yeah, the so-called critical thinking. Critical thinking is amazing. It is absolutely necessary. But if you have no foundational knowledge, what are you going to use to have critical thinking? Nothing. How can you be critical about anything if you don't know anything at all? You must have some basis, you know? Yeah. So I was telling them, if you all can even try to at least listen and remember what was said, I assure you, you'll spend lesser time on tuition and lesser time at doing your homework. So, sorry. So, telling you what you ought to know. So here it's just about knowing, you know. I cannot tell you enough about how many times I witness people doing something, and I'm like, that's it. I saw, long time ago, I saw how people change the tap. And so after looking at them change the tap, I was like, okay, no big deal. Then, and I was in secondary school, and then my auntie called out my family, and then asked whether my dad was around. My dad was at work, and she was like, I was like, you know, what's the matter? Then she said, oh, our tap is leaking, so was thinking of whether your father can come over and fix it. I was like, oh, I think I know how to fix it. I've never fixed it before, but I've seen them do it so many times. I'm like, what can go wrong, right? Long story short, I managed to fix it. Just buy one, replace it. You either replace the small inner washer or you replace the whole thing. What's the big deal? And I didn't have to go through NTC, whatever. I would never go through that. But it's about paying attention to what people are doing. If you just pay attention and see clearly, don't think about other things, most people should be able to retain enough to repeat what was done. Yeah. And the more you do this over different things, the better it becomes. Yeah. Now, there's a link here, which is that if you don't know, then you need to hear others who have that experience. Yeah. So while a mentor is someone who tells you what you ought to know, you need to be open to people mentoring you. Yeah. Last time, in the past, in my work life as a consultant, a huge part of my work was telling people what to do, what they are supposed to do. We seldom do the actual thing. We're there to talk only. Yeah. In the corporate world, people is consulting, gong nia. Right? Yeah, but the trick is you must know what to gong. So we need to make ourselves amiable to listen. Yeah? Be ready to listen. Yeah? Don't be so quick to jump to the conclusion that you know. Yeah? Last one, showing you the path to heaven. So in some of the sutta, you'll notice that the Buddha mentioned heaven. Yeah. And this is not a mistranslation. This is not a typo. It's really heaven. Yeah. And why? Because in this case, Sigalaka is not yet a Buddhist. There are many people that the Buddha talked to, they are Brahmins. And the Buddha don't tell everybody, hey, why you don't want to attain enlightenment? Why you want to go heaven? No. In many cases, the Buddha actually advised them, tell them how they can be reborn in heaven. In a few of the sutta regarding the 8 precepts, the Buddha specifically highlighted he or one who observed the 8 precepts for 1 day, 1 night. The result is you can enjoy the fruits of being reborn in heavenly realm. You'll be reborn in this realm for how many thousand years, and once you die, reborn in human realm, and then you enjoy what? Then after you'll be reborn again, and wow, multiple, you know. So this is not a typo. Yeah. But at the same time, in other places, the Buddha highlighted this is transient. This is not ultimate. And so if you want to have ultimate happiness, you want to be completely free of suffering, this is not sufficient. But this advice was given to Sigalaka, who is not quite a Buddhist yet. So in some suttas, the Buddha first tells them how they can have a good life presently. Then at another occasion, telling the same group of person, or people, he will advise them, how about heavenly rebirth? Then after that, the Buddha will tell them, hey, beyond heavenly rebirth, you can actually enjoy a more subtle bliss, a subtler bliss that is beyond the senses. Teach them how to meditate, attain jhana. And then beyond that, first, second, third, fourth jhana, the Buddha guide them towards Nibbana. So the Buddha don't just day one, Nibbana, Nibbana. Maybe come over crying, Nibbana. That's why for the small kids, you need to give them something to play with. In my place, last time in the office, now in my place, I have a lot of toys, carrom board, chess set. I even had Lego at some point in time. I had a Scrabble, a set of Scrabble. So at some point, I asked my mom to ask my sister to help me get some of this. And my sister supposedly told my mom like, 师父是新代谢. What's wrong with 师父? Like, why is he asking to buy all this? Not for me lah, for goodness sake. It's for the kids. The kids come in, then you ask them, sit down. Let me tell you about the Pali Canon. So number 4, the compassionate friend can be identified by 4 things. Compassionate. Do you want a compassionate friend? Say yes.
Yes.
By not rejoicing in your misfortune, delighting in your good fortune, preventing others from speaking ill of you, and encouraging others who praise your good qualities. So again, it comes in a pair. The first 2 is about fortune, misfortune. The second 2 is about how others speak of you. So let's look at the first 2. Not rejoicing in your misfortune. And number 2, delighting in your good fortune. If you, can you imagine if you got a piece of news from, like you tell a friend you're going for a medical checkup, and then you tell a friend that you just finished your checkup, and your friend asks, hey, cancer. Like, and let's say you have cancer, stage 4. So I think we don't need much explanation. You can retrench, and your friend come and, walao eh. Not retrench, hey, how many months? The package, how many months? Rejoicing in your misfortune, you cannot, then your friends still laugh at you. Wow, pop. The next one is maybe not so obvious what it means. Or in a way it is obvious, but there's another layer. So delighting in your good fortune is quite obvious, but the reverse is the highlight. Because when you have something good happen, for your friends to delight and congratulate you seems like something that is very natural. But sometimes some friends, they may actually not delight in your fortune. You got a pay raise, and then, being a good friend, you want to share in this joy. You belanja everybody to have lunch or dinner. And then one friend says, oh, today not free. Today I'm not free. Why? Maybe because your friend may feel like you're showing off. Maybe your friend may feel inferior. Yala, can raise lah, buying new car lah, upgrading your house lah. Successful lah. So sometimes it can be tricky. While you want your friend to delight in your good fortune, sometimes you may have to be careful about or sensitive to how your friends feel. I have this bad habit. Not a bad thing, but I wasn't aware of this. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I wasn't aware in the past. So when something good happens, I'll tell my family. I come back home every day. I'll tell my mom like, "Oh, 今天好笑." It means today it was very funny. I mean seriously, every day work, every day is funny. Cannot be, ma. But when I think back, yeah, that's the same exact phrase I tell her every day. When I come back, I'll tell her, "Oh, 今天笑好笑，大家講." Yeah, I will laugh and share with her. And one day my mom said, "Aiya, 其實哦，你搭白教老母講哦，老母唔聽得袂曉咧。Means every day you tell me all these things, actually I don't understand. Because I would really tell her about the details of my work, which is for most people not comprehensible anyway. My mom. But she will really just listen. And she'll tell me, "I don't understand what you said every time actually, but I'm happy for you." Delighting in your good fortune. But what I don't realize is that you can do this with your family, but when you do with your friends, not all your friends can feel the same way. And sometimes not their fault as well. Because maybe you thinking, this year promotion, next year get an award, then 2 years later get promotion again, then your pay, then your friend, so sometimes while you have good fortune, you may want to share in good measure, in a measured way, so that you don't, you show some sensitivity to them. Like if your friend just got retrenched, and somehow you just got promoted, you may want to wait a while before you share your news. Otherwise, I mean, honestly, if you just got retrenched and your friend got promoted, and your friend tells you, you just told your friend, you text your friend, "Hey, I just got retrenched," and then your friend said, "Oh dear, oh by the way, I got promoted." So, while you want your friend to delight in your good fortune, timing is crucial also. Preventing others from speaking ill of you and encouraging others who praise your good qualities. So this is about how people speak of you. In the Kobe, a good friend will protect your name. Here is talking about statements that are perhaps dubious. So, if your friend and another friend or somebody, that somebody in front of people about you, would you feel better if your friend speak up for you, or your friend listen then which one will you prefer? Speak up for you, isn't it? This is what is meant by preventing others from speaking ill of you. Likewise, we should try to be such a friend as well. If we find others speaking ill of our friends, we should stand up and say, "Hey, don't anyhow say, What is the basis for you to say that statement?" Of course, if you don't say anything, if you just keep quiet, it's easier. Easier for us to just keep quiet. Easier for us to just be a bystander. Easier. But if we do that, then we are not caring for our friend, protecting them while they are not around. And the last one, encouraging others who praise your good qualities. And so here, speaking ill and talking about good qualities, this must be factual good qualities. Factual good qualities. But speaking ill, in my opinion, if a person speaks ill, it most likely means that whatever is said are probably non-factual. If a person speaks something factual, I'm two ways about it, whether it's okay or not okay. Because to me, if it's factual, it's factual. What can you do, So at least if it's non-factual or if it's questionable, we should speak up. In the case of good qualities, it should be real good qualities. So if some people will blow things up, praise you beyond what you are, I'm not sure whether that's healthy. Because sometimes it may be setting you up for failure. Praise you beyond what you are. In Chinese we say, 给你戴高帽. So a lot of subtleties here. So now ask yourself, how many true friends do you have? Do you have a helper? Not your mate, huh? Do you have an enduring friend, a mentor, or do you have a compassionate friend? And the reverse, we should ask ourselves, we should strive to be such friends to others, to be a helper to others, to be enduring in our friendship with others, to be a mentor. And lastly, to be compassionate to our friend. So, you can go back and then do this reflection. That's what we have for today. Any questions? So, can you all remember the 4 types of friends? What's the first type? The helper. Second type? Enduring friend. The third one? Mentor. The fourth one? Compassionate friend. Very good. So what is the 4 again? The first one? What's the first one? Helper. Second one? Enduring friend. Third one? Mentor. Compassionate friend. Yes, very good. Take a look. Okay, put your palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
不愿罪障悉消除，
不愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。